YouTube part of it.
Madam Chair, you are live.
This special meeting of the Historic District Review Board is called to order today. We are April the 29th, 2024. May we have a roll call?
Madam Chair Rios,
Here.
Vice Chair Guida,
Not here.
Member Aguilar Medrano,
Here.
Member Benvenu,
Here.
Member Mather,
Excused.
Member Valdo,
Here.
Member Bishai.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Do we have any changes to this agenda?
No, Chair.
Thank you. We are here to nominate two people to the Historic Districts. We are the Historic Districts Review Board, excuse me, to the Historic Review Board, which is part of the state and local government group that are reviewing the project that are located at 4-2 Donas Bar, 4-6 Donas Bar, 4-10 Donas Bar, 14 Donas Bar. And we are, this group will be reviewing the demolition, talking about the demolition again, even though the Historic Districts Review Board did make a decision to keep the 4 casitas, or referred to as bungalows as well. And also to, they did decide to demolish the Poncho DCP building. So with that being said, Heather, question. 2 nominations can be from, do they have to be board members, or can they be anyone from the community? Or can they be either or?
Chair Rios, there are some specific guidelines regarding the nominations. One is to review projects that are in the zoning districts. And another one who has interest in historic preservation issues. I'd actually like to maybe see the text, which is, I brought it up earlier. One moment.
Okay. So, one member appointed by the agency or other entity that reviews projects within the area zoned as a historic district or landmark. 1 member appointed by the agency or entity of the municipality that is concerned with historic preservation. So it's just concerned with historic preservation, not. So it could be any type of person from the public. Also, you know, it's staff's recommendation that it be from the board, because the board is representing its decision in this proceeding. And then, as you know, you were appointed by Mayor Weber to represent the governing body and that section of the code, which is 3 public members who have demonstrated interest in historic preservation appointed as follows. 1 member appointed by the Secretary of General Services, 1 appointed by the governing body of the municipality or county, which is you, Chair Rios, and then 1 public member appointed by the 2 other public members. And so Chair Rios is meeting with, I believe it's Francisco Urbina tomorrow to discuss that and who they might nominate.
So I will open it for nominations. And we are open for nominations for member. For the first person to be on this committee, on this review board. Member Madeline.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Heather, I just had a question for you. Does the person we potentially want to nominate have to know and agree to it beforehand, or do you approach them afterward? Let's say it's someone outside this board, and then if they decline, then what happens?
Chair Rios, member Aguilar Medrano, it's ideal if they know first. But certainly we can approach them. The only drawback is if they're not available, then we would have to come back to another board meeting to make a nomination.
Okay. I only asked, I didn't realize we were allowed to nominate people outside of the board. But so I have conversations with anyone.
It's confusing at best.
So do I hear any nominations? Yes, Member Walden.
Yeah. I'd like to nominate member John Badu and also John Eddie.
Discussion.
do-
Can we have discussion
Their second?
Oh, discussion.
before the, yeah, well,
Okay.
I guess we could have a second.
I'm
first.
sorry, I didn't.
Either way.
Is there,
we
is there a
need to-
second to this? Yeah, I guess this is a motion. right?
I'll get on the journal second.
And
discussion.
is there further discussion? Is there further discussion to that?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So this is an interesting issue about who we appoint to this position, right? Because we had a vote that was taken. The demolition request was denied by majority, which is the will of the board. And so there's kind of this, there are two ways of approaching who should be appointed. One would be to say, well, the board was somewhat split, so it would be nice to have some representatives of both views. The other way would be to have representatives that are more aligned with what actually turned out to be the will of the board, who voted in favor of the motion, which was to deny the demolition. And I'm just going to ask if Heather might want to weigh in as to whether and what the recommendation is from the land use department and or the governing body, or the city, or the administration, as to which of those two paths we might want to pursue, or what their preference.
Chair Rios, member Bienvenue, the administration, land use management felt that in order to best represent the will of the board, like as you described, which was to deny the demolition of the bungalows, the thought was that those who voted in favor of denial would be the ones that would be most appropriate for the state local historic review board. But that certainly is the pleasure of the board.
Sure.
So,
And if I might chime in, I agree with Heather. I think that the representatives that we have should be those, if it's a board member or even a person from the community. I think that they should be persons that voted in favor to deny the demolition. Because I think that the state is going to be representing the other side. And so I feel that we have to have strong voices on this side. And who knows, I don't know, maybe even the person that would be, that were against the demolition within the discussions that we have with the state, maybe they'll be convinced that maybe that would be a better route. I don't know, but that is the process that happens in discussions and in arguing and in looking at everything clearly. But does anybody else have other comments or opinions?
Yes,
yeah, it's my
Thank you,
prediction.
Madam Chair. I think that discussion helps a lot. Thank you. I did vote in favor of denying the demolition, and one of the reasons I voted that way was to protect what I understood some of the public sentiment to be, that they would like to be involved in this, in the process we're now embarking on, to set up a committee that includes stakeholders as well as the state representatives. And so I agree with appointing members who voted for denial in order to sort of protect and continue to protect the board's position on it.
I also agree, but I will also express my hesitancy in accepting a nominations if I so get one, only because I'm also doing the other subcommittee right now, which is pushing my out of work time already. But I wholeheartedly agree that both representatives should be on the side of agreeing with the demolition, which I think there were a couple members of the public who voiced their opinions, John Eddy being one of them. Adam Johnson was another that I had in mind, especially because of its historical architecture experience that I have not had a chance to discuss with him beforehand. I don't know if it's appropriate to nominate him without conversation.
Is there a path for their, involvement? There is, right? There's a couple
There
of
is a,
public members,
that's correct.
and how did they get up?
Cheerios member Beachside, so the one path would be that extra member of the board. Otherwise, I guess it would just be the public process.
I should bring to the board's attention, I think, we just saw Mr. Reddy trying to go into that door.
Oh,
Oh, maybe he wants to attend the meeting.
He
And
did say that he
I
was gonna
have
try to-
mentioned to John
Oh,
Eddy,
there we go.
that maybe somebody would nominate him, would he be interested?
I was gonna suggest calling him, but
And he said
Sure.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd be interested. I think he would be a good.
I'm fairly certain.
Oh, so did I, Frank.
Yes, we're not to put you on the spot, but if you were to get nominated, are you in a position to be available?
I'm not sure what the schedule is, but I think that I can.
I'm in agreement with that proposal too. How about the maker of the motion? Want to submit withdraw, make a substitution?
So, does the maker, so we have a motion and a second, so can he just withdraw the motion?
if he so chooses, but he didn't indicate that he wanted to.
Oh, he indicated he did not want to?
I do not want to.
Oh. Okay. So we have a motion on, well, here it is. We have a motion and a second.
I haven't voted. I would just say that, I appreciate Member Baldo's nomination. I do agree, though, that I think that I'm persuaded by the idea that, it makes sense to have the will of the H board be represented. So, I think my preference would be to have Member Beachside be substituted in my place, and then Mr. Eddy would be fine. I could vote for that as well. So,
I accept that.
You would accept it?
Yes,
Okay, so you would withdraw the motion
yes, I'm a problem.
and, I will entertain another motion. So,
I think that we need
With
the seconder to also agree to the withdrawal.
we'll leave that.
I agree, and I can make another motion.
Mhm.
So I move to nominate Jennifer Beachai and John Eddy to the committee.
Assuming when he arrives, he's willing to accept.
Yes.
Did you find it?
No, I did not.
Does anybody have his number?
I did.
Do we think he was trying to come to this meeting?
He did mention that he was trying to come.
The main door is open, I assume.
Yeah, the
Oh.
front door is open. He may
Well,
have walked
actually,
around.
the front, you know how both doors are usually open, one of them was locked and the other one was.
My motion was to permit demolition on the condition that the board ultimately approved the findings. That was-
Hey, right, okay, no,
I guess we'll take a break. It's hard to have like a formal meeting. This-
Yeah.
You know, it's true. We've become very informal without even thinking about it.
Both doors. Which door are you at?
Not always do we get facilities to remember things.
curious, there is a member of the public on the Zoom meeting. Did you want to solicit public comment or anything?
Or are we listening to the phone? I guess.
That's the, once again, the measure of the board.
I think we should make it a complete.
Seems to be. Okay,
And we can put John Eddie on the phone too.
or we don't even have to put in, but because I did mention off before, he said he would be willing to do it.
Oh, great.
Doors.
So we
Can
don't.
we open this door here?
He's, yeah. he's-
Okay, we do have a motion on the floor. Would it be appropriate to take? I don't think it would be appropriate to take public comment at this time.
Okay.
Right?
You know, we can put
Yeah.
John Eddie on the phone too. If we're concerned that whether he will accept the appointment.
I did. I did mention, and he said, thank you very much. So,
He said, yes, thank you very much.
he said, I mentioned that I had nominated him, and he said, thank you very much.
Oh,
And he said, I'm gonna leave now because I couldn't get inside the building.
well, so somebody help me. Is it appropriate to hear from the public at this time, or is it, we do have a motion on the floor to say?
Yeah, since we have a motion, I think. That's, we should conclude that, right?
First, and then we can still hear from the public.
Actually, not sure what that's.
Okay, you make the motion, and did I hear a second?
Second.
Who did?
I'll second.
And you seconded, member, excuse me. And we have a roll call.
Member Aguilar Madrano?
Yes.
Member Benvenu?
Yes.
Member Baldo?
Yes.
Member Bishai?
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion has passed.
Thank you, and we have a person from the public, and would you? You can go ahead and hear from that person.
Frank, is there anything you can unmute if you wish?
The Frank Katz.
Yes. Would you like to speak? Maybe not. He's not unmuting.
Well, let's see, Frank? Frank, we'd like to hear from you, but you need to unmute.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, there we go.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How can I help?
It's because we're on Zoom. Can you hear us now?
How can I help?
Do you have any comments?
I do think that you would want to put somebody on this committee who would support the position that the H board has taken, I believe, 4 times, that these structures are significantly important historically to have been given status, sometimes significant, sometimes contributing, but that's 4 times they've reviewed it. And I think that that's a pretty clear position, and we need someone who would advocate that position in this other forum. That's 4 times they've reviewed it. In this other forum.
Frank, I hate to tell you this, but all your comments at the beginning were all jumbled. So can you restate what you want us to know?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing everybody there, but can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine, but everything was jumbled and we were hearing different voices.
Maybe is it better now? You're only hearing one voice?
Yes, now we can. What is
Okay.
that second voice? Hold on, Frank. What is
Feedback.
that?
It's a feedback.
It's YouTube. No, that it's free.
Because his voice is going back to the
Where's-
mic.
It's up here.
So
It's, I think, the feedback from YouTube, and that's what we're trying to. Because we're
oh, okay.
live at the same
Frank,
time.
hold on, we're getting some feedback from YouTube, I'm told, and we're trying to get rid of that so that we can hear you.
Okay, and I don't know whether there's anything I can do to help on that. I don't see anybody. I don't get the video portion. I do hear you, but it's sort of a little quiet and garbled. Yeah, I can't hear that at all. Would it make sense for me to sign off and sign on again?
I think things are good. Go ahead and speak.
Okay, I shall. I think that there are a lot of issues inherent in having this go before the state and local government board. And I almost don't know where to start on that, but I do think that this is the opportunity for the H board to put on the state and local board people who support the position that the H board has taken. And I pointed out, I don't know whether you heard that, I think the H board, that there have been 4 separate decisions, I believe in 1985, in 2011, in 2023, and then again this year. 4 times the H board have said these 4 houses are properly given historic protection. That's the city's interest at this point. And I think that there should be people on the board who support that interest. Now, part of the problem is this should not be before the state and local government board. You can't make a decision on whether the casitas should stay or be demolished without knowing what is going to be replacing it. And that's what's supposed to be happening now. This whole idea of appealing the demolitions to this state and local board now is just completely wrong-headed. It's wrong-headed by the terms of the state statute, which talks about discussing the construction or renovation of a building. I don't believe this is about the discussion about the construction or renovation of a building. This is about the demolition of buildings. It's not even within the language of the state statute to have the discussion of the renovation of a building go before this board. So I just think there are a whole lot of problems with it. And there should be somebody appointed from the H board to defend what the H board has done all these times in classifying and these buildings as contributing. Did you hear any of that? Hello, hello.
Right,
Okay.
great. Are there any other questions?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Katz? Frank, thank you for your comments. There are no questions from anyone present here. Thank you. We have 2 members. Each side and John maybe.
And we voted already?
Madam Chair, before we close, and adjourn, I think it might be appropriate to call John Eddie and tell him you have been appointed. Do you accept the appointment? Because if he, I just heard him say thank you, but what if he says, no, I don't accept the appointment? And we've already adjourned, you know?
I did mention that you would reach out to me. Is it okay? I have his number.
I would suggest we do that.
Okay, so we're calling. Hey, John, we're here in the meeting still, want you to know that you're on speaker. And I'm gonna pass you towards Cecilia. So, we both start there.
John, as you know, this evening we're nominating two persons to sit on the, review board for city of posted on,
Thank
or
you.
is that for- Okay, bye-bye.
And Madam Chair, we assume because Jennifer Beachheim, member Beachheim has not expressed any objection to the appointment, do you accept the appointment?
Right.
Slightly confusing, and we are adjourned. And we'll see you on our next meeting. Everybody, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So. So Heather, tomorrow you indicated, okay, so the members of this